Whoa! As the camera falls. It's Film Geek. Wow. Let's start again. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Film Geek here, and it's time for this week's stack. First up, I watched The Boy Who Could Fly. It's a movie from the 80s, starring people I've never seen before. And it's basically this shy, autistic-type kid who is obsessed with like flying things, just planes and birds, and yeah, and the girl next door who kind of starts falling for him. I give the movie a 3.5. It was decent, better than I thought it was going to be, but still not that great. Next up was Mongol, which is the biopic of Genghis Khan from his childhood up until the time that he comes to power. I thought this movie was really good, really well acted. It's a foreign film, I believe it's Chinese. Really well acted, really well shot, and had some fantastic color correction that really made me feel like I was in the moment. You know, there's like some light grays when we're in like a nice despairing time, and then there's some bright yellows and greens during happy times, and I thought the color was really well used, and I give Mongol a 3.5 out of 5. Next up, I saw Fido, which is a comedic horror zombie flick that basically has this people have domesticated zombies, and yeah, that's pretty much the movie. There's like more to it, but that's the main basis, and I give this movie only a 2.5 out of 5, and here's why. It started off really cool. The premise alone was inventive and creative enough that I was thinking of giving it like a 4 out of 5 for the first like 40 minutes or so, and then the novelty kind of wears off, and you start paying attention to the story, and you realize it's not that strong of a story. It's also not very well acted, and cinematography is fairly bland. So I give Fido a 2.5 out of 5. Then on the total other spectrum, I saw a movie called Peacock, which apparently came out in 2010, and I had never heard of it before. A friend of mine posted a trailer for it on Facebook. This movie stars Cillian Murphy, or Killian Murphy. I'm not sure if it's Killian or Cillian, how it's pronounced, but Cillian Murphy as a very Norman Bates type character. He's got split personality, one of which is the actual guy character, who's a very introverted and seems almost autistic with how introverted he is. And on the other spectrum, he plays his wife, is his other personality, who is very extroverted and involved with people and caring, as total opposite. The movie also stars Ellen Page, and Bill Pullman has a small role in it, and what's her name? Susan Sarandon has a fairly big part in this movie. And I thought this movie was fantastic. The story was very original and creepy and intense. The acting was outstanding. The cinematography was very cool. However, I think that the ending was a little weak. I actually watched on the DVD. They had like an alternate ending that I thought the alternate ending was actually stronger than the ending that they went with. And I also thought there was 1 or 2 scenes here and there that seemed rather pointless. But all in all, a stellar movie, and I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Check it out on Netflix. That's the only place I've really seen it. Then I saw the 1987 Best Picture, The Last Emperor, and this movie was fantastic. Superb acting all around, great cinematography, beautiful use of colors in this movie, both in color correction as well as scenery and props. The soundtrack was just great and really lifted the movie to a whole new level. Everything about this movie I just loved. It was a little long. It was almost 3 hours, but it didn't really feel like that most of the time. So I give it a 5 out of 5. Great movie. And then I saw Race to Witch Mountain, the remake with The Rock in it. this movie was actually better than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting to totally hate this movie, but I was really entertained. Granted, the acting sucked, and the special effects looked cheesy in some places. For instance, the fact that they decided that it'd be better off to use CGI helicopters instead of the real thing. All in all, I give it a 2.5 out of 5. It was entertaining, and I didn't hate it, but it still wasn't all that great either. And then finally, I saw a short film by Wes Craven called Hotel Chevalier. It's a 13-minute short film starring Natalie Portman and Jason Schwartzman. And I thought that this was a great little piece. Fantastic use of color. I hated the soundtrack in this movie, but the acting more than made up for it. And they told years worth of a story in a mere 13 minutes, including both story and dialogue, without any flashbacks. It was just the dialogue. You had the story and the backstory combined, just with you basically got more than enough backstory with just a couple of sentences here and there. And Natalie Portman has a nude scene. You don't see any actual stuff other than her butt. You do see her naked butt, but she's strategically positioned to cover up the naughty bits, and she looked great as always. The acting was fantastic. I give it a 4 out of 5. So that's this week's stack. I will see you guys next week. I may or may not see No Strings Attached this weekend. I'm not really sure yet. Haven't really decided. But if I do, you'll see a video. If not, I'll see you guys next week.